Good morning. We're gonna get started. It's 9:02. I'm gonna call the meeting to order. I need an invocation by Mr. Bradford. Can you give us an invocation?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Let us stand. Dearly Father, we thank you this morning, oh God, for allowing us to see another glorious day that you have made for us. And Father, we don't take it for granted. And Father, we just ask, oh God, that you continue to strengthen our leaders, our elected officials, continue to keep them safe, oh God. Continue to give them the wisdom, oh God. And Father, we just want to pray for our first responders, our schools, our teachers, our kids as they go to school this morning. Father, continue to keep them safe. We pray for our doctors, our nurses that's on the front line battling with COVID. And Father, we just want to pray for any family that may have lost any loved one this past week, oh God. Father, continue to comfort them. And Father, we just want to send a special prayer out to Colin Powell family that he gained his wings this morning, a great pioneer, great general, my mentor. Father, we just want to continue to bless his family, keep them uplifted. And Father, we just want to pray as a county, as a state, and as a country, oh God, continue to keep us safe from hurt, harm, or any danger. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Now, Sheriff, can you give us the prayer?
Yes.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is approval of the docket. Have everyone read the docket? Can I get a motion? Got a motion by Supervisor Wilson.
Second.
Second by Supervisor Gaines. Any discussion?
Yes, the 10th month, 5th day, 2021, I think this is claim number 25. I'm voting against.
There's a page.
Just mark on the document.
Okay. All in favor say aye. All opposed nay. Ayes have it, motion carried. Okay, do we have any city government business, if any? Okay. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna deviate from this here report, and I'm gonna handle the school issue with AJFC and MAP.
Yes,
And
we
I'm
have
gonna,
some people around here.
yes,
If y'all check your emails, there is, and also pay attention and whatnot to what's happening with Head Start and so forth. The AJFC is switching over to MAP, or MAP is switching over to from there with the Head Start. Back in the early 2000s, that was a county building, and it was ended up transferred over to Thompson, and I'm sure you're going to correct me the history of know a little bit better. There was a reverter clause in that deed, and it provided that if it was ever not used for, Head Start purposes, that it could revert back to the county. Also, at the same time, there was the Thompson Reunion Group who had an interest in preserving that site and their class history and everything like that. They're actually here today to answer some questions and kind of better explain what I'm trying to explain. So the idea was that AJFC would give a portion of the old school to the reunion. There ended up being some issues with title. When it comes to title, attorneys are real sticklers for things. So if everything's not just perfectly smooth, it can create what's called a clout over the title, which can affect your transfer over. And so during those transfer process, a title attorney is given the opinion that there's a clout. And so what the new company is asking for is that we basically transfer this property over along with AJFC. And so they're asking that the board send some representatives over to meet with them, as well as with the reunion, some representatives from the reunion people, to come up with make sure that this is something that's feasible and doable from the county's perspective. So they've asked, and I said I would bring it to the board for discussion to see what y'all would like to do or how y'all want to handle it. I think you have an issue that you need to recuse yourself on. The minutes will reflect that Angela Hutchins is recusing herself and that she's not participating in any discussions or votes on this. So that turns it over to you, Mr. Vice President.
So I'm gonna open the floor up for.
Well, I'd like to, if you could call Mr. West, if he might be able to better explain what I was just trying to explain, and also give us what the reunion standpoint is.
Okay, you want me to do it from this position right here?
If possible, you could go to the podium so the cameras could hear you.
Okay, talk loud like I normally do.
You probably won't have trouble hearing from you.
Okay, let me. First of all, let me say good morning to everyone, to President Hutchins, Vice President Middleton, Supervisor Wilson, Supervisor Gray, Supervisor Gaines. I'm Philip West and the other officers of this particular facility and organization. I'm Philip West, and the reason I'm partially the person who would be representing to a certain extent any questions that you may have this morning is because I'm the oldest member of the organization, the SVT school reunion, okay? And I was there from the very beginning. So I was involved when this particular board, where none of you were present, initiated this transaction at our request. So we came this morning, before I tell you what, we're here in order to respond to any questions that you may have on background, or whatever the case may be in terms of how we got to where we are. We have with us the committee, which is past chairman, Ms. Eva Dunkley, present chairman, Ms. Gloria Young, past chairman, Mr. Paul Bacon, Ms. Joyce Osno Matthew, who's a part of our committee, who's been working diligently along with Mr. Blow in order to try and upgrade this facility or repair this facility, or our portion of the facility for a number of years, and then COVID hit. Okay, so we haven't met since COVID. This is our first getting together since COVID, but we got this request from this attorney Priest to call me a couple of weeks ago, I guess it was, 10 days ago or so ago, and indicated that she had a request on behalf of MAP that we would participate in a discussion regarding the possibility of deeding this particular facility over to MAP. And of course, she said she was going to try to have a meeting where there was representatives from your organization, from her organization, from the Head Start organization, from the AGFC organization, to the federal organization, so forth and so on, in order to sit down and begin discussing about with them, each other, about this possibility. So then I got an email from that was sent to me that she had sent to Scott regarding the concerns regarding the deed, title deed, and that kind of thing, and what was done and what was not done, and so forth and so on. So she was again requesting a meeting this morning prior to the 9 o'clock meeting, and I didn't see an email from Scott responding to that, to the latter, and so since we had organized ourselves, at least all of the committee members had been informed of this particular request, we decided to just come this morning in order to be here in the event you all had some specific questions, particularly regarding the background of this and how it took place, when it took place, why it took place. With that said, I'll just open it up for any questions or discussions you may want to have with us regarding this particular matter.
Yeah. Mr. West, do you know how good the building, how good is the building right now, like structure-wise and, repair and so forth?
The building is in terrible shape, okay? After we initially got the building, at least our portion of the building, we had the Boys and Girls Club operating from out of that facility. It was learned that because there was a leak in the roof, then the regional Boys and Girls Club organization out of Atlanta told them they had to move. This was during the time when I was serving as mayor, of course, and I don't know which one of the members was serving as chairman at that particular point. So what we did was we asked that Archives and History would give us some funds through grants in order to repair the roof. We had Ms. Salmon, Amelia Salmon's daughter, to, as an architect, to look at that situation. By the time we concluded her looking at it, we found out that it was gonna cost maybe $1 million to fix up the roof. So since that time, the facility has constantly deteriorated, which is why we have been meeting prior to the COVID, trying to find a way in order for us to access some resources, state and federal, in order that we could have the situation repaired. During that time also, it was designated as a historic, well, maybe not necessarily as a historic landmark, but a historic site. Okay, so that was another part of why we wanted to do it. But originally what we wanted to do was to maintain that facility when it was usable in terms of the reunion, in order for that facility to be used for community kinds of things. It's a school just like Margaret Martin, all of the other schools, Carpenters, all those schools are still in existence, but not as schools. Okay, but they're still there. And so we wanted to do the same kind of thing with Sadie B. Thompson. The Head Start program was there, but they had some repairs done or upgrades done, but none of that was done in our section of the building. And I was really pleasantly surprised to find out that maybe it's debatable, that maybe it's going to have to go to court or whatever, that we own the whole building. Okay, that tickled me. But in any case, we also, because of our interest in trying to make sure that that structure remains, to make sure that it's there, because that neighborhood, as most of you would know, it's an old neighborhood. It used to be kind of a centerpiece for the neighborhoods in the African American community. And that school, when it was built in 1954, I believe it was. No. 55, whatever, it was, approximately, I'm not exact. But whenever it was built, it was one of the finest African American schools in the state of Mississippi, okay? And it had a large auditorium, a large gymnasium, and so forth and so on. And so it was built better than Lanier. It was better than Brinkley, all those other schools when it was built. And so we recognized it was a jewel, even though it had been transformed from going from a high school to a junior high and to Head Start. And the reason we didn't want this facility given to AGFC at that particular point was because, you know, AGFC is a 10-county organization, I believe it is. And so we didn't want to have the taxpayers in Natchez and Adams County not having say-so over what would happen to that school, in that school. Because the AGFC board consists of people who represent Jefferson County, Cleveland County, Copiah County, Franklin County, whatever the case may be. So that's why we made the request to the Board of Supervisors. There was some dispute, but they decided that they would grant us, deed to us, that part of the facility in terms of the auditorium, cafeteria, and gymnasium, and AGFC would then continue to have the other portions of the school facility that's where the classrooms are and all, and the library, whatever the case may be. That's kind of how we got to where we are.
Okay. Y'all have any questions or anything?
I really don't have no question. I just have some concerns. My concern is pretty much the same thing with this new organization, MAP, coming in and wanting the building deeded over to them. I would hope if that happened, that it be some stipulations in there like it was last time with a reverter clause. If anything happens, it reverts back to the whoever owns the building, because I don't think nobody from wherever they're from, Jackson or wherever, should be owning a facility like that. And far as doing some work to the building, I know they say they're gonna spend some money and upgrade the facilities. I'm just recommending this to the Sadie V. Thompson reunion, and me and Mr. West already talked about this. They need to have a plan in place, and the actual work that they're gonna do on the building, the air reunion, Sadie V. Thompson reunion, should have a copy of it, because I just don't wanna see this organization, if they get the building, say they gonna do some work, and don't do nothing over there and just leave it like it is now. I don't wanna see that. So those are my concerns. And it is in District 4. So I don't wanna see an abandoned building over there.
Scott, do you know if there's a revisionary clause in the plan?
They've discussed including a reverter in there, very similar to what's already in there. They discussed being able to put money into the building if they own it. So those are things that they have certainly put out there. What they're asking for at this point is to have a couple of supervisors meet with some of the reunion group as well as MAP and AJFC and all, I believe AJFC is one of the groups, but have a discussion about what type of things, what type of concerns we might have and getting it transferred over. So.
My only concern was the same thing Ricky was talking about. And I'm sure y'all don't want to see it go to somebody else and then they turn around and sell it or something.
That's
They're
correct.
with it. Okay, that was my only concern.
Let me ask you a question, because before this even came up, I used to look up stuff on this website, and it always said that the Sadie V. Thompson Air Reunion owned this spot, the whole thing. But you know, we always thought that part of it was deeded over, like the cafeteria, the gym, the auditorium, to the Air Reunion. But when you look at this website, it says that the whole entire facility is owned by the.
I'm sorry, if you're not on the recognized, you need to mute your phone, please. Go ahead, sorry.
It says that this whole facility is owned by the Sadie V. Thompson Air Reunion. So my question is, I understand that there was a reverter clause in there, saying if anything happened, it reverts back to the county. But maybe you can help me with this. I don't understand what we gotta do with it if the Sadie V. Thompson Air Reunion on it. What do we have to do with it?
In order to clear the cloud of title, the title attorney is requiring us to execute a deed over, along with AJFC and probably the reunion people. So, that doesn't sound, abnormal from what a title attorney would say, even though our claim probably would be doubtful. It's still a claim out there, so they wanted all the ducks in a row before they'll issue a clean insurance on it. Theirs might be a different story, the reunion group, since they got it, but that's what they're asking for. That's why we're involved in it, because there's a chance that the property automatically reverted back to the county. And before an insurance company will insure it, they have to have that cloud cleared up.
Well, my only recommendation to our board is if they had a reverter clause in there before, then they need to have another reverter clause if they deed it over to them and something happened, it reverts back to whoever. Not no out of town.
If y'all want to entertain this, then the next step would be just to select two of you and meet with everybody and get those concerns out. And just make sure you pick who you want to be out there.
Is that a motion?
I can't make a motion.
But that
It
motion
doesn't take a
needs to
motion
be
because it's
made.
not a formal decision.
Okay.
Supervisor Wilson, before you offer a motion or whatever, I want to make one request, and I don't mean to be, to sound repetitious, but we are hopeful and we feel that our interest and the supervisor's interest is one and the same. We want to prioritize and make sure that whatever is done further down the road, that it not be done unless there's some insurances, and I mean in writing assurances, with the necessary, whether it's the reverter clause, time limit, and so forth and so on, involved in, before I would recommend to the committee that we deed something over.
Sure.
You understand what I'm saying? Because we have to know, I'm not against people who live in Jackson, people who live in Timbuktu, but our first job is to take care of our own, and that's what I'm about, in regards to this particular matter and other matters. So, and I feel that you all will feel the same way. So I'm asking for you all's support in that particular concept. Because if we meet with them and they say we want you to sign this deed over next week, I don't think we're gonna go for that, okay? We gotta have more than just saying deed this school over, regardless as to the reverted clause. You see what I'm saying? You understand my rationale here?
That's right. If they're gonna promise something and it's worth their word, then they'd also agree to it in writing and have it signed and enforceable. So,
And there will be a time frame attached to whatever they agree to do. And if they don't do it, because then,
and if they don't want to agree to it, then what they're saying may not actually come to fruition. So.
Correct. And so I just want to make you all aware of that request, if that's appropriate. And hopefully.
You just take a motion, you guys need to select from yourself who you want to go meet with on there.
Ricky, anybody else?
I'll go.
All right, so Ricky and Warren will be on board for that.
Do you have any other questions, for me or the committee members? I know you don't know who they are because all of them are wearing masks. But they tell me I look better in a mask. So, if there's nothing else, then thank you all very much for your consideration and thank you for what we'll do in the future. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right.
This is one research. That's why I got the name on the I tell you, I made a correction, and the correction came after another.
Okay.
Right.
We'll move on. Next thing is, I call Mr. Richard Nelson. For the airport.
Madam President, Supervisors, Council, I just came to give you an airport update. The airport's being really, really busy here lately. We're fixing to do the construction project that actually starting November 3rd, starting to crack seal on the secondary runway so they can prepare to shut down the main runway in the near future. We are actually fixing to have another FAA inspection, which is almost unheard of. They inspected the airport in July, and they are coming back for what they call a surveillance inspection, November 16th and 17th. This is not normal. This is something that they do, I don't know, once every 10 years. It's mainly, in my opinion only, that they are doing this just to pick on the airport based off of our certifications. We passed the inspection in July, and now they're wanting to come back and probably re-inspect the airport, which is not what a surveillance inspection is. I've contacted some senators and kind of get them aware of what's going on. So this is something that we need to be watching careful in the near future. But the airport's in good shape. We don't have nothing to worry about, in my opinion. But this is something that is going on and being really, really busy at the airport. We submitted for some more airport projects in the future. And I've got the word of mouth from the FAA right now that they are going to fund a lighting project in the future for the runway. So it looks like we'll get a little more over another $1 million.
So, okay.
So the airport's been really, really busy. We're moving forward, doing everything we can. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them at this time.
Do anyone have any questions for Ms. Nelson?
What were the dates they were coming back?
November 16th and 17th.
And I assume any issues they had have been addressed.
Yes, they've been addressed. There's nothing for them to come back for. The last portion of the project is the runway project itself. And we've got the grant, we're under construction. There's no reason for them to come back and see it. We're gonna be in the middle of construction when they get there. So, I'm not really understanding why they wanna come back. Yeah, but,
Probably never will.
yeah.
The projects you have going now, how are they going? Is everything proceeding as planned?
They are going a little slower than what we would like. They're gonna cost the airport money in the future. So my budget is really, really gonna be a smoke screen for this year. I'm gonna have to really stop and cut costs and everything, because if they shut the runway down for 60 days, I'm gonna lose a lot of traffic, a lot of revenue in 60 days of the main runway being shut down. So it went slower than what I wanted. It looks like they're not gonna get to the main runway until spring, which is not what the airport really needed. But it also affects, my revenue, because my slow months of the year are winter time, and then now you're gonna shut me down winter and then shut me down in spring. It's really gonna hurt. So that is some concerns with the airport.
What's slowing it down?
The engineering and the contractor are saying that the weather concerns on the emulsion process of the asphalt is something that they could not work for. We were trying to get that taken care of a little bit quicker so we could start earlier. It wasn't possible at this point, so it looks like they're going to stop work in January and start back in March or April timeframe whenever it warms back up, which is my busiest months of the year, so it hurts me. So
Mr. Richard, have you got a report back on the air study?
I got portions of the air study back. The visitor traffic looks like 178 people a week. So that actually helps out as well. They're putting a presentation in for the meetings at the conference on November 2nd and 3rd. So it looks really, really good. We're meeting with 6 airlines on the 2nd and 3rd, from 16-seat airplanes to 80-seater airplanes with airlines. So we are busy. We're moving that forward as well.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you all.
Appreciate it.
Oops.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Okay, next we go to the Apartmental Reports. I'm gonna get, Mr. Hughes with the tax assessor's office.
Good morning, Madam President and Board of Supervisors. I'm Larry Hughes, Adams County Tax Assessor. I just want to bring to your attention real quick that the Department of DOR, Department of Revenue, they did send us a certification saying the certified Department of Revenue order was approved for personal and real assessment of Adams County for 2021. We just basically want to try to enter this into the minutes for this morning. And not only that, I do want to bring something else to your attention while I'm doing that. The MACA, which will be hosting a fall conference here in Natchez. So I don't know if you're aware of that or not. It just bases some of the things they go over, like strategy, campaign, contributions, some of the basics for our association. And I did want to bring that to your attention. That was what's going on with the MACA, which is the Mississippi Association for the Assessor and the Collector.
Okay, that's great. What are the dates?
Basically starting this morning.
This morning?
Right. So
Right.
otherwise they're gonna be in town for about 3 days.
Okay, great.
So that's gonna be nice also.
Okay, great, great.
Want to thank you very much for your time this morning.
Okay, do we need to
We
get a motion on
motion.
that? Yeah,
Okay.
we need to get a motion.
So moved.
Got a motion by Supervisor Gray, can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Supervisor Wilson, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed nay. The ayes have it, motion carried unanimously. Thank you,
Thank you.
appreciate you coming. I'm gonna get Mr. Grant because he has to leave with George Cosby said he has to leave early.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I guess first off, the current EWPs that we're working on, Group 1 has 3 sites and they finished the Johnson Circle site. And they moved on to Pineview and Cemetery Road. And they are working on those, hopefully to be completed within 7 to 10 days. On those sites. And then the Main Street site, we've got a couple of items left there. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll have that site finished. That's pretty much what I've got there. Let's see, Group 2 and Group 3 WPs, we're looking at advertising, not the end of this week, next week, and we'll update y'all on when we'll be receiving bids on those, depending on what day we advertise.
Did I see where you all are asking for an extension on a couple sites like?
We did on the Main Street site, they were really running close to our deadline on that. And in discussions with the NRCS, they said to go ahead and just to be safe, to go ahead and get 30 days to extend that. They have one item that we're waiting on, and it's that will be putting the grout on the rip route out there. And they told me that they're trying to schedule that right now.
Was that Maine and Brookview?
That was Maine and Brookview, yes.
So we need a motion for an extension on those 2 sites. He asked for 30 more days, I thought 31 on there, but it's 30 days.
On what 2
I think
sites?
it's 30, yes, that's,
Maine,
it's 30 days,
30 days.
yes.
You heard the request?
So moved.
And a motion by Supervisor Wilson, second by Supervisor Gray, in the discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed nay. The ayes have it, motion carried. Any more questions for her?
Bree, have you been out to the?
I got a question
Okay,
for,
Supervisor Gray.
Johnson Circle. It looks pretty good, but my only question is, with the lit, stuff to make the grass grow, why they didn't put it all the way over and just left all that dirt over here?
Now they did grass some of that area there, and they came back in and put in a paved ditch or apron around the drainage structure, and then they regrassed again, so that whole thing should have been regrassed. They will.
See, I'm talking about how they put that damn
What they put the hay on.
over here, you don't have nothing but dirt. That's Johnson.
Oh, that is a blanket, a sensitive blanket that they put on that, and we'll put that on the steeper slopes.
So why
And
they
then
didn't put it?
they did, this area here has been seeded, And it's mulch, they did put a little bit of hay down on that, but this is a different type of cover here.
Right here, like nothing but dirt.
They may have not done that yet. I know they put the blanket out before they came back and reseeded that. If you go out there, I'm pretty sure that they have. I mean, we're not gonna pay them unless they complete all that. And they've got established grass on the side. But the blanket is, they'll seed up under the blanket.
You're gonna have to have
But he did put that blanket down before they seeded and mulched the rest of the side.
And on the docket, you got Cemetery Road, you got Pine View, and you've got Johnson Circle on there. So that's, mobilization grubbing.
Yes, that was the items that they had completed on, I think that was mostly Johnson Circle there.
Okay, you've got Cemetery and you've got,
They were just all in
I know they were on Pine View because they had run into an issue. We had to go out there on Pine View with them,
Yes, yes.
on that. So,
But I think that came up before they got to Pine View.
yeah. And then on the top, you got on the first group way back when we were doing, Lotus and, Scotland, Lost Creek, Main Street, Tubman. On here, you got 48,102.93 on there for Cambo. And like you said, you got, Main Street on here.
Yeah, that in our contract, that is, the Main Street is in the south projects, and so it kind of is tied to those EWPs.
So what's left to be owed on Main Street, I mean, I know it's some left, but I'm saying with the others tied in, then you still have Main on here, the 48,102.93.
I think we've got about 50 to 60,000 left in there, and that'll be, in some grout and
That part.
asphalt
Yeah.
and, just the remaining items in there.
All right, have they started Cemetery 13?
They have, as of Thursday or Friday, they had gone in and clear and grub and that site. And, they're gonna start they're gonna put their fabric down and go ahead and put rock down.
Started Friday, okay.
That should happen this week. I know they were setting on Pine View this morning. They were laying their pipe out.
Any of the group 3 right-of-ways and legal restrictions?
I'll get those.
President, I wanna, ask you, which, group is Meadow Road in?
That's in the group 3.
And that's the one you say you should have bid out by next week?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanna make sure, cause that whole set of moving and I'm always, staying in contact with.
Yes.
So if you talk to the landowners, tell them we're gonna be coming down, getting them to sign right-of-ways, where we're getting numbers from, that kind of thing.
They gonna have a problem. You won't have any problem. You won't have any.
Brett, y'all doing the work out at the airport, the engineering?
We are.
Okay, how's that coming?
I don't know it. Last time I asked, they were working on getting doing the asphalt that they were talking about. I know, and I'm not an asphalt guy, but I mean, I know when we get into the winter months, it's hard to, the regulations, and that's a different, the FAA, dealing with FAA and their asphalt mix designs, there's a cutoff period that they do not want you to lay any asphalt, even if it's considered a cold weather asphalt. But I don't, I really, to be specific about it, I don't exactly know what dates they were talking about and when, and the hold up that Richard had talked about.
Okay, well, that was kind of vague, and that's why I was asking if we got an engineering problem.
I will
Yeah.
ask
Because we
Hayden to send out a email to y'all.
That's
explaining
really
what's
important
going
to the county.
on.
to
Yes,
get
I
that
know
right.
it's pushing, getting that done.
Okay,
I know that there were
Inspections.
they're doing some stuff with the contract, if that's that's the same project.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's, there's been a lot of
Yeah,
things going on there.
the annoying attorney had a couple things they had to clear
No,
up before
I
he could
feel
certify it.
Okay. Those are the questions you all have
Yes,
on?
that's all I have.
All right, thank you,
Well, thank y'all.
appreciate you. All right.
And I actually had a question for Mr. Floyd too, Ward too, I'm sorry. We got that letter from state aid talking about defunding us. Did y'all see? Do you know what that's from the McGee Road Bridge Project, what that is?
I'm not sure if it's just particularly McGee Road, because McGee Road is programmed for more than that amount. So I'm reaching out to Chris Dixon to see exactly what that amount is being withheld for. I think it just may be total funding, not necessarily one particular project.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Because they're saying we're gonna lose $160,000 or whatever, we'd rather not lose it.
Is that the specific number, about 106?
Right.
And I'll ask Jim, get back in.
Yeah, 'cause I emailed Hayden about it
Okay.
a couple times.
I know there were some questions on McGee Road, but I don't know exactly.
well, we do need to know what to do with what the plan is for McGee Road, whether or not we're gonna move forward with that project or not. Because we can take get that project deprogrammed and program another project and get some other work done in town.
And I think that's the direction we wanna do, however,
With that.
the way it works with McGee Road, instead of repairing that road, which would upset the landowners who are on that road, the more used road, more, whatever, which is in bad shape. I think what Supervisor Gaines' suggested or like to see is having that road being repaved or redone versus just doing the road. And that road is probably not gonna qualify for a state aid road. It's just not, wouldn't do it. I know that Robbie, I believe Robbie got a kind of quote of how much it would be to redo that road in about $200,000.
Yeah, that was contractor, got an estimate of what it would cost.
But that's something we need to look into because, I think I gave that information to Scott when I got it, I received it. And, we don't really need them to defund us because if not, we won't get any more funding, they said, the upcoming funding.
I think a letter was submitted to state aid, I believe like this time last year. And I think they just have to, we just have to generate a similar letter about what we plan to do with the money. And that should be sufficient. I'm not sure I wasn't involved in that, so I'm not sure what the justification, how this fund's supposed to be used, anything like that. I don't have a copy of that letter, but that's typically what we do. We have an issue like that. We just submit a letter to state aid saying how we expect to use those funds.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. All right, great, thank you.
I got one more question for Grant, or not really a question, but tell the board, Robbins Lake, got with him this morning, got the drawing from him this morning on Robbins Lake, what type of pipe we're gonna use and things like that. Gonna go ahead and order pipe this afternoon. And I'm gonna get with him sometime this afternoon and make sure we are ordering the right pipe for what he expects.
Okay.
So we're gonna do that today.
Do we know what we're gonna do with the road? Is the road gonna be shut down?
Road's gonna be shut down probably a week, and that's what I said, we gotta figure out about the residents behind that road, what we're gonna do, if we're gonna try to go around, put them up. But that's a decision we're gonna have to make, and then, like I said, I'll find out today how long it'll be for pipe, delivery on the pipe. I'm sure it'll be a while, but, I can find that out today.
Probably have a recommendation by the next meeting.
But we're gonna have to make a decision of.
I'll make a phone call and try to see if we can gain access through that property. They just logged in
I
there,
just
so
say
it's in
logging in there. So
fairly decent shape. But we'll just weigh our options on what our best feasible
what it
option
costs to
is.
fix it.
How many residents do you think it is?
20 something, I think.
Yeah, I'd say 20 to 30.
Will there be able to have foot traffic across there when they're doing
Not for a couple of days.
Probably day 3.
that? One of everybody back has got four-wheelers and buggies right there. Can't have the cars on the other side, but I know it's gonna be a big inconvenience, but I know they want the road fixed too, so.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna put this up.
Hopefully they'll be excited because they're getting save the road and maybe help us out.
Okay. Have anything else?
That's it.
Mr. Green? Okay, Mr. Green, thank you.
All right, thank y'all.
Right.
Okay.
He don't have nothing to do with the, Amherst Bottom Road Bridge, right?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, Mr. Allen Layer.
Hey, good morning. I'm just here for a couple of reasons, two different grants. I'm currently working on the home grant that we received funding for. This is phase two, where we actually include homeowners. And I've got for the application, I've got two resolutions, more or less. Memorandum of Understanding. These are required. I'm not really sure why, but they're required for the application. The first one's a Memorandum of Understanding, basically just outlines what our responsibilities are. And for some reason, we put on here all the Southwest Planning and Development District's other programs. Anyway, that's pretty self-explanatory. The other one is the homeowner rehabilitation policies, procedures, guidelines. And it outlines all the guidelines and procedures, all of which me and Lynette will make sure we abide by and follow. It's also, if you read through it, pretty self-explanatory. But I just need these two items passed for this phase two application, which I'll be submitting next week.
Okay, you heard the request.
So moved.
That motion by Supervisor Wilson, second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion?
Ken, are you familiar with what you're talking about?
This is for the home grant.
Right.
Yeah,
You looked over it?
not on this particular one, but if it's the same as they've always done, we can apply for it several times.
I need you to look over and make sure.
I'll do that.
They just
So-
stated them this morning.
Maybe pass it contingent on Scott.
Yeah, we gonna pass.
So we can,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't think y'all meet again before I submit the application.
Right,
Okay. Thank you.
We need to vote.
yes.
Yeah. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, nay.
Okay, the second
Ayes
thing.
have it, motion carried unanimously.
Sorry.
That's okay, go ahead.
Lynette couldn't be here this morning, and she is working on a USDA grant. It's for,
She submitted it to me too, I have it up here.
yeah, it's an SUV, for, I can't remember what department it's for,
It's for E911.
E911, okay.
The only thing we did, and she have a total amount here that the county would have to pay, and this is for that vehicle for E911. The only thing we said that, they could apply for the grant, but we didn't say, we wanted to see how much we would have to, put in for that vehicle. But as I'm looking at it here, the match is $19,751. That's a vehicle itself within itself. So I don't know if the board wants to even deal with that.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if there's an actual total cost for the vehicle.
Yeah.
somewhere.
Wouldn't the city have to pay for part of that?
Who be the
I'm sorry.
Yes,
This is for, and
No, they pay the
remember
flat
she
rate.
came
Oh,
in
yeah.
next to that
No
vehicle?
more, little less. They don't match our expenses.
Yeah, but this,
Are we gonna be working on that soon?
We've asked them to submit a budget with a new building and everything, so then we can start approaching the city about.
Are we glad to get in on this meeting? That needs to be taken care of.
But I think that if Angie gets a free minute, we could probably, Angie and I could sit down and print out what their expenses are and that, divide that in half, and it's not too complicated. We can send that to y'all, and versus how much we're getting.
Okay.
did you find the total amount on that?
I did. It's, if I'm looking at this right, it looks like the total amount of the vehicle is $37,255. And so that would be y'all's portion of the match. I'm sorry, your match is at $19,000.
$19,751. But this, I can't even see it against the board.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't know how.
How long
you
do we
feel
have
about
to make a decision on that?
I don't think there's any deadline for USDA grants, it's throughout the year.
Which means
SUV
no, it doesn't say, he has all that information, must be.
It's that way.
Probably be a good vehicle that the sheriff department can use.
Will be state contract,
Do you have any info on the vehicle?
we'll take a golf cart.
Yeah, actually, yeah, the whole printout.
Can I see that, please?
Yeah.
Mr. Larry, while you're doing that, can I ask you about, has anybody asked you about the, volunteer fire department's equipment, doing a grant for that, or are they taking care of their own? Brad, you know?
I think Lynette has talked to,
Yeah, on the grant, it's specific on that, but see, when you're dealing with volunteers, it's based off the information that runs and stuff like that. And the last one you get, because those grants are really hard to get, you can apply for them, and when you get them, it don't fund the total volunteer fire department. It's gonna be individual fire department. When we did it last time, Kingston was awarded one, and the rest of the department didn't. So when we combined all the volunteer fire departments, we're trying to do it at one instead of doing it individually.
Can we do it both ways and just see which one actually maybe comes through? Because if we cut some of those expenses, we'll get a lot better for the county.
Well, on that, the reason I did it, like I said before, we always do a lease purchase. Joe did that. Because when you talk about the volunteers, if you get some new uniform and don't get the other one, we're not paying these guys. You know, and I want to be fair across the board. We're not paying these guys, they're using their own dime and stuff like that. But I want to make sure they got the right uniform when they go and do this. Because we did that last time, we lost a lot of volunteers because they say Kingston is famous. And we don't want to have that amount of volunteers and stuff like that. So that's the reason we're trying to go in it together to get them all at the same time with that. The ones that's certified.
Yeah, well, I would attack it from both angles, and then if one or two of them actually get the grants, and then we can fill in the rest, is the way we're kind of looking at it. Because that, was it $50,000?
$49.
Correct. I'm saying the reason with that is just not like you just go to the shelf and get it. This stuff has to be specially made, and it's time consuming now. That if you order just certain set, this set may be ready this year, but it may be a different set next year. Different walls and stuff like that. That's why we want to do a total package of it. Even with the lease purchase, it's not like you're paying, all your money up front. You're leasing it out, spreading it out over the years and stuff like that. And that's the cheapest route to go, because by the time you put a grant in, trying to get it approved with the match and stuff like that, it's gonna be pushing it farther back. That's the reason for that. But it's gonna be up to the board whether y'all want to.
Let me ask you something, because Darren had stated at the last meeting that the last time they got the equipment, it was, they got it from a grant. So what was the step then?
Right.
Did it change?
Right, even with that grant, Kingston got the grant, but you had to separate the department. That's what I'm telling you. The department's got to be separated if you go that way. Say if we put in the grant, we have to say Foster Mound put in for this grant. When they do that, they're going to require all the data from Foster Mound, that fire district, how many calls they went on and stuff like that. All of that plays an important role when you get the grants. That's why when we did the first time like that, it was unfair to the other firefighters. So that's why, it's good, but a lot of big departments, they're putting it in as one big entity. Because the more calls and more volume you got, the better chance you get your grants. That's why we're trying to do it this way.
Yeah, back then, that was in 2015. Kingston was the only certified volunteer station back then. Now, Foster Mound, Liberty Road, and Lake Montrose, they are certified for the state. So, cause we got all that done, about 4 years ago? About 3 or 4 years ago. So like you said, that's the reason why Kingston was awarded the grant, because they were certified volunteer station.
So you can't apply for a grant for each station, is what you're saying?
Yeah, we can apply for each station, but at that time, they was on one award because of their status for being a volunteer department in Allen County.
If we apply from every station or apply for them all at once, you're saying you have to apply for them per station, you can't do all at once, is that right, Brad?
Yeah, because what I'm saying is, when you put it in there, even if you do a separately like that, somebody might not get awarded one.
Yeah.
But then again, now, if one not get awarded, now you got volunteers that ain't get equipped. And you like me, if I'm a volunteer and somebody else got one, I ain't getting that, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna respond to no calls.
If you applied for every one of them and only 2 of them got it, it's still 2 departments less than you'd have, if you just go ahead and buy them all, everyone's gonna get it, but if you get 2 grants, and that's less money than you'd have to come out of pocket.
That's what I was.
And I think that makes total sense that you can't just get one volunteer department.
Right, but what I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying. It's like we got 11 men on a football field with 10 helmets. Who gonna be the one that wear the helmet?
Well,
Right, you see what I'm saying? Right, what I'm saying, right, what I'm saying is, when you do these grants, it takes time. Once we put the grant in, you gotta get awarded, then you gotta get awarded with it. You looking at, if you're doing everybody at one time, you're looking at probably a year to 2 years out. Doing this award period, getting the money, getting the stuff, getting the equipment and stuff like that. Because you got to order this equipment. And a lot of companies are not setting back because COVID has put a lot of these companies on the back burner. You know, the reason we did it this way this time because the company said, hey, look, we got something in stock, but you got to lock the prices in now to get there. Because next year, when there's all these big firefighters, all these other agencies start getting the uniforms, it's going to put a strain on us. That's the reason we did it. I wouldn't be coming in here saying this if we didn't need it. Everybody know me, I'm a particular in saving money, but this is what we need, guys. Because we're playing with people's lives.
when do you think they'll be due, the money will be due? You think it'll be by the beginning of the year?
If you put the grants in there?
If we ordered the equipment today, let's say, would it be due February, March, or whatever? The problem is, right now, it's not a good time to spend $50,000.
Right, well,
Certainly not this budget.
Right, what I'm saying is that's why we do lease purchase. Lease purchase, you know, you pay a note. It ain't like, because with the grant, you gotta have that check up front.
Yeah, right now, we don't wanna pay a note, or agree to pay a note for next coming fiscal year as well, because that, you know, it's a bad time for your cash flow.
Right, so I'm saying, we ain't got the money if we put the grant in. Because either way, you gotta spend money. That's what I'm saying. If you spend it up front, or you spend it on the backside, it's still the same amount of money you gotta spend.
And that cost for that gear
It's gonna go up.
going up. That's why they tried to, when we told we gonna lock it in, that's why they said lock that price in, but now, then we had talked to them and said we couldn't get it. We probably lost that price, so he trying to work with us, but it's kinda tough on his end too, the vendor. So, that's where we at right now.
Okay, board, what do you all think?
Yes,
You say so?
no, I said, we had Mr. Knight on break right there. I said we can finish Mr. Knight and then we gonna see.
That's what upon of the grant through Mr. Langer, Mr. Dixon.
That's what I-
Mr. Larry, you part of that grant?
I think Lynette's actually working on that, right, with y'all?
Yeah, she was looking into it.
A lot of work right next to her, so.
This is gonna be on him if he apply for it or not. I mean, that our decision that we need to make for them to apply for the grant or not.
I think the board would rather
I
us
think we would
apply for all the grants both ways and see what we can get. And if we
Exactly.
get some of them, we'll save money and we buy the rest of the stuff.
Okay.
What about the vehicle?
We had a,
Y'all wanna table that for now?
Yeah, cause I was under the impression when she met with me that they was gonna apply for a vehicle, their
with no match.
$26,000 was the amount for the
Okay.
vehicle. So
I
don't know
understood
what
it was a
happened
regular
between.
car too. I didn't know it was
Yeah.
an SUV. I thought it was
That's what,
a 4-seater car or 5-seater.
right,
Um,
a little
Let me
hard.
ask you this question. Why do she even need a car? Is it just to travel for training?
That's what she said, she need a vehicle to, because they don't wanna use their vehicles, the wear and tear on their vehicles. So that's why she was applying for one. And to go to meetings and stuff like that.
How often do they have to go?
I think they do trainings, when they first start, they do that one
And
week
that's
training.
it, right?
That I know of, I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Mr. Laird, because I've seen the invoice on that car or SUV, can you get a lesser vehicle with that grant?
Y'all, they don't care what the car is. Yeah, there's no problem.
Is the match like
Yeah,
basically
the
50%?
matches, it's based on, some, like the income level of the area. And y'all's match, I'm guessing, just looking at this, is probably, well, they don't call it a match, they call it the grant rate. It's probably like 40% or so,
Yeah, it looks like
maybe less.
60/40, yeah.
But that's what, okay, 60/40.
That's what it looks like.
Which, meaning,
So if we got
USDA will fund 40% of the project.
So if we get a 4-door sedan that costs 26,000, then our match would be much less, obviously.
Right.
Instead of $37,000.
Maybe about half or
Instead
whatever.
of 19.
Would that, I mean, would that be
That's
something
gotta
we'd
pay
be
gas.
more interested in doing?
You gotta pay gas and insurance and all that too. I mean, if that's what y'all wanna do. Everyone else gets mileage.
Mileage like all of those.
Well, I mean, if it's a vehicle that's being used 4 times a year, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
And then we're paying insurance and fuel. I just don't see it. I just thought, but that's up to you all, what you all wanna do.
Roger, can I say something?
Go
Yes,
ahead.
ma'am.
Like I said, you know, we gonna constantly buy vehicles for, the sheriff department and E911. I mean, if we got it, it's a vehicle that we can use, but it's not to me appropriate for E911.
I mean, like I
Because
said,
we're gonna constantly buy vehicles for those 2 departments.
sheriff department, right, if you're gonna need one, like I feel like if you're gonna apply for this grant and get this amount of money, it needs to be for the sheriff department. Or no, go ahead, Mr. Bradford.
Do y'all know 911 already has a vehicle? They have a vehicle already.
They have one already?
A Dodge Durango is assigned to the 911 department.
Okay.
Where-
Yeah, it's brown, it's got E911 on it. Is that
Yeah.
what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the vehicle they use.
Who driving?
I'm saying it's for 911 purposes.
What
For
is
them to use.
Right, it's for 911 to use, like this Alice uses it, Connie uses it. But if somebody needs to go to a conference, that vehicle goes to that person to go to the conference because it's signing out, like got the gas, and they're paying the insurance on it already. So that's,
Okay.
So they can get mileage like, you know,
Get miles like that.
I'm saying they don't need much because we already have a county vehicle that's what it's
available
for.
for them to travel.
Yeah, it's a SUV already, the previous board, that's what they purchased it for.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll move forward. Anything else, Mr. Laird?
That's it.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
We appreciate you. Okay.
Scott, just let me know, look over everything.
Mr. Bradford, you have anything?
Yes. Good morning, board. I got a couple things, what we're looking at now. Our COVID vaccination, we're at 49%, so we're headed in the right direction on that. With that being said, I want to go ahead and push our mask requirement, emergency proclamation to November the 30th. That allows me to continue to help give out masks for our vaccination sites in the communities, to be able to help our residents to November 30th. So hopefully we get over that 50% mark. We pretty much won't need it no more. Because everybody, hopefully we want to go and get that done this year. So we're going in the right direction. Our numbers are trending down, stuff like that. As shots are coming in, people are getting their third booster shots and stuff like that. So we're looking good. So I want to ask the board, let's do our emergency proclamation to extend that to November the 30th.
Okay, you heard the
So
request.
moved.
Got a motion by Supervisor Gray, second by Supervisor Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed nay. The ayes have it, the motion carried unanimously. Anything else?
Yeah, we got our information back from FEMA and MEMA. We're looking at our disaster damage threshold that went down because of our population. 2020 population, what they have for Adams County is 29,538. So with that, as our population decrease, our damage threshold, it decreases too. So our damage threshold now is $121,106 for us to meet any kind of requirements to be able to receive any federal aid, stuff like that, with that. So, like I say, it was important, comparative that, the census is important there because the more population you got, the more money you get. As you see, as our numbers decrease, our money and federal funding gonna be decreasing too. What that does, that's also gonna affect my department too because part of our grants that we participate in with the state, receiving some of that money as far as our salaries and stuff like that, may see a decrease on that, just to give y'all a heads up on that. So Angie, if you start seeing the money decrease on that, on the EMPG, that's the reason why on that.
Okay, Mr. Gaines have a
I
question.
was just saying, 121, what was the figure?
$121,000, $121,106.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Ruffin?
Yeah, We're looking at ending our COVID-19 testing at the safe room. Darren's been charged of that for the last month. We're gonna try to, I think the numbers have been dropping, people getting tested and stuff like that. So we're looking to close out on October the 27th for free testing in the community. So people have up to next week to get tested if they got it. So we can try to get back to normal operations on that. Also, they're going to be a community vaccination at New Hope Missionary Baptist Church. They're going to be partnering with the Alcorn School of Nursing and my office on October the 30th from 11 a.m. To 2 p.m. They're going to be doing vaccination. They will be offering Pfizer and Moderna. They're going to be doing first if you need your second shot and also booster shots. So they will be giving those out. Doing that. Johnson & Johnson, they can't get their hand on it, even though they might get approved, but it just, everybody wanted the one shot. So they kind of went through that real fast. So they're having a hard time getting the one shot. So once they come available, I'll let y'all know that, hey, they'll be offering the Johnson & Johnson. So that's free to the public, October 30th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. My last thing, I want to request travel to Biloxi, Mississippi to attend the Mississippi 811 training summit. I want to represent the county, and that's going to be November the 3rd to the 5th at the IP Casino in Biloxi, Mississippi.
You heard the request of emergency management. Can I get a motion? Got a motion by Supervisor Gray, second by Supervisor Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed nay. Ayes have it, motion carried.
That's it, Madam President. Any questions by the board?
I got a question. A lot of people kind of confused with these shots. I want to ask a question. Is it a difference between a third shot and a booster shot? Because they telling me it's a difference between a third shot and a booster shot.
Well, that's the terminology people using because right now they're trying to see if you can mismatch. Like if you took the Pfizer first, if you need a third shot of maybe it be Moderna or Johnson & Johnson, they're trying to, right now is in debate on whether you can do that. But right now they recommend you to stay with whatever you took to get the booster on that.
Well, what I'm asking is if I had the Moderna, and for what the news say that FDA hadn't certified the third shot for the Moderna, but they was giving, not the booster shot for the Moderna, but they was giving a third shot, and it seemed like it was a difference between the third shot and the booster shot.
Well, what are they looking at is the amount of dosage that they're putting in the needles and stuff like that. You keep in mind, research will change as data come in. They have to have enough people in the system to really see what's going on. So as new data comes in, the FDA gets it, they're constantly changing it. So, they're saying that if you took so many cc's of Moderna, you only need this as a booster rather than the same third shot of the same exact cc medicine you took the first time. So there's some leeway ways in there that you can look at it. So we just tell people, talk to your doctor, whatever you feel comfortable with. If your doctor say, hey, you need this so much, or you can take that, then I recommend what the doctor say.
My only concern is I can't wait to take my booster or whatever the case may be, but when you have people with lack of knowledge and understanding, they hear this on the news that the FDA haven't approved a booster shot for Moderna, then what are they taking?
Right, see, everything's trickled down, we get the last end of it. If it's not clear from the top, by the time you get to the bottom, it's not going to be clear. So people have to use their own judgment on what they're going to do. I can't say take this and take that one. That's why I say do your research yourself. People have to do the research there because right now there's not a lot of evidence based for people to really say, hey, this is the one you need to take and stuff like that. The FDA is not going to approve stuff on a trial basis. Everything we got going on now is trial basis. Because some sites saying, hey, you don't need the booster. If you took this here and you've got a great immune system, you don't need it. So a lot of it's going to be up to the individual to research it themselves. Because there's just so much out there that can go wrong.
It's making it hard on me in my area working with a lot of senior citizens. Once they hear something from the FDA or whatever they hear on the news, and then you telling them they need to go get a shot that really haven't been approved by the FDA, man, that's kind of confusing. I
Yeah,
mean,
like I said, they want to see their doctors. I would send them to their doctors because the doctors know if they got underlying conditions and stuff like that. So that's based off your age, underlying condition, what you got. So, you know, I would put that back on their doctors or any medical field because, like I said, they got all the information on them and stuff like that. I would tell them, hey, go get Moderna. You know, I'm not a doctor, nothing like that. My job is to make sure it's available to the people. So
Okay. You have anything else?
that's all.
All right, thank you. Ms. Cavett McNeil.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I am coming to you this morning with with two things. One is travel for myself and the purchasing department to go to our annual conference. It will be held in Biloxi, Mississippi this year.
Okay, that's for Cavett, Christy Sewell, and Francis Bell.
Yes,
And that's November the 6th through the 10th.
yes.
You heard the request?
so
Got a motion by Supervisor Gray, second by Supervisor Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, motion carried unanimously.
Okay, and my second thing is, a couple of weeks ago, I emailed you all the dispossessory report for the inventory, along with the fixed asset for last year and this current year, for me to, and I'm asking, requesting permission to submit it to the state auditor's department.
You heard the request?
So moved.
second.
Motion by Supervisor Wilson, second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, motion carried unanimously. Anything else?
That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Mr. Brandon, IT, you have anything?
No, ma'am, not right now.
Okay. Mr. Robert Dollar.
Good morning, board.
Good morning.
First of all, I have, 3 dump sites have been completed, so far this year, well, so far, Churchill Road, Parkway, Kutsu, well, it's 4 of them, and White Oak. We finished those, in the last few weeks. We still have several to finish up before the end of the year. With that being said, I have 2 new sites, Old Highway 84 at Leesdale and Davis Court. Such as you have those pictures of those.
I do. You heard the request?
So moved.
Got a motion by Supervisor Gaines, second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, motion carried unanimously.
Had a bridge inspection, last week before last, and on my report, we got to shut down another bridge in Hamilton Bottom. We went and shut it down, took pictures, submitted pictures, got the pictures back to the engineering firm, which is IMS. But to do away with those pole bridges, some of them I can't do away with, some of them I can. There's 2 bridges in the bottom I'm gonna do away with. I'm gonna put 60-inch pipes, 60 by 30 pipes in those spots. It's gonna be cheaper on the county, plus it's gonna get those off inspection. It'll go forward, so that's how we're gonna replace that one, and it's one more. I know they're gonna shut down, they just didn't inspect it, so I'm gonna do both of them at the same time, in the bottom. So,
Right, let me ask you a question. Now, when all this stuff happened, and they had all these so-called engineers to go to every county and inspect all this stuff, and they took all this money and spent it, I thought all our bridges was failing.
you know, they come back, said they were, and then they come back, and 2 in the bottom, I'm waiting on Dozer, which I'm hoping in the next week or 2 that we've already given a PO to drive piles. 2 prior to this one they just shut down. And one of them we completely rebuilt as on their specs. And then they come back and said the approach piles were bad. we rebuilt the whole bridge except that one approach wall off of their records. That's JKS was engineering, you know, and now they should got that bridge shut down. So we gotta go in and pull out 25 foot, drive 5 piles, put caps back on, put stringers back on, deck boards back on, and runners back on. And we could have done it the whole, I mean, we had it all the way down when we were there,
Right.
you know. So that's what I say, I think these pile bridges, if any way I can replace them with covers, that's what I'm gonna do, to try to help us in the county get off of the inspections of it.
Yeah.
So, but IMS does have a picture where we shut it down and submitted them to them.
And we submitted what they were supposed to.
Okay, Murray Stewart called me with MDOT sign program. He's the one that, done the program on Morgantown Road.
Right.
He called me Friday, wanted to know would I be interested in doing another sign program, and I told him yes. He told me what road it was. It's Liberty Road from the city limits to Craneville to Neck Crossing. He's gonna do that whole section, all chevrons, curves, through there. Told him, yes, we do.
Just make it-
They buy all the signs, we just put them up. So
Yeah,
I
so
think it's a big help, and I know Morgantown Road is really, it's helped that far as far as the signs and being able to see the signs and the curve signs and things like that. So he's gonna start on that, sometime and get with me once he gets the program in order, and I'll do it with the signs up. MLK, contractor, you can drive through MLK, he's got about 3/4 of it gravel so far. Today was the day he was gonna turn it back to traffic, not with blacktop, but just had the traffic coming back. And he's got it open, he will finish gravel in the next few days, and then it'll be the asphalt and concrete or whatever from there. He has done an excellent job so far. It looks good, so he's done a good job. And he's on schedule. He tells you Monday I'll have this much done, he'll have it done on Monday, you know, so. Then I have an employee that he turned in his, 2-week notice
resignation.
today. His name's Leon Dorsey. His last day will be October 28th, 2021. I'd like to ask for, give me permission to replace him.
You heard the request?
So moved.
Got a motion by Supervisor Gray, second by Supervisor Gaines, any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, motion carried unanimously.
And I know I talked to each and every one of the supervisors, to let y'all know I had an employee, Gregory Smith, pass away, in the road department. He passed away October the 11th. I hate to ask, but I need to replace him.
You heard the request?
So moved.
Got a motion by Supervisor Gray, second by Supervisor Gaines, any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, motion carried unanimously.
That's all I have at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Questions?
Appreciate your questions.
You know the project we supposed to do on Pine View Drive, we was waiting on some dirt from the city or whatever the case may be. This guy called me,
Correct.
texted me.
We were getting all the dirt from the National Cemetery when they done that project. They called to let us know they were gonna haul the dirt somewhere else. The county wasn't gonna get the dirt. So I asked him, could he give me the name of the contractor? At that time, he didn't know, or he wouldn't release the name, but I had found out who the contractor is. I've talked to the contractor. He's gonna start grubbing and cleaning once he does that and start hauling the dirt off. He said the county can put the trucks on that haul and get the dirt to do that. The contractor is Camo, that's doing that for the cemetery. I guess he's a sub from the general that's got that job. So, Mike was supposed to get with me to let me know when he starts hauling dirt off. We're gonna get that, because I need to get that. I told that guy that's what we were gonna do, and that's what we were waiting on. So, I just found that out week before last, that Camo is the contractor, so, he's gonna let me know when he starts getting ready to haul dirt.
Okay.
And I think I talked to Warren about it, but last week when I was telling him about it. So,
And the next thing is off of Greenwood, I think that's a zillion when you go up around where the guy got the dump site.
Yes.
And when we cut the little groove in there, okay, is there anything else we can do? Cause that's getting worse.
Far as the water cutting the shoulder, that road, is what you're asking, when you go down, it makes that sharp bend and the guy's got that site to the left.
Right.
What you're saying. Right in that part.
Right, where his part at, not, I mean,
Okay, now, you know, we put a pipe in right there to turn the water off where his drive was. We diverted the water before we got here. That's been some time ago now, it's probably been 2 or 3
We did
months.
check on it. Just
Okay,
check on it.
I'll look at that.
alright, thank
You did some Menace properties,
Say it again.
your guys cleaned up some Menace properties, is that right?
Correct. We cleaned up, we got one off of Tubman out there for Mr. Wilson, then we cleaned the one up on 61 North.
I got the one on 61 North, I'm looking for the invoice for Tubman.
We done it first. If it hadn't been submitted to you, I'll find out today why it hadn't, but
If the board wants to assess those costs onto the property, they certainly can, but they need to do it at this meeting. I think Meg will send us the invoices to attach to the minutes.
I know those two has been completed.
What is the cost?
I can only tell you one of them. The one on Highway 61 was $629. Highway 61 was $2,100, give or take. $2,149.
That was a few days on that one. And then we do have the one too on Myrtle Drive.
Yeah.
We did finish that one. I mean, we cut that grass too the same way. Let me find out. Like, I figured she had turned them in, but they're turning that one.
She might have emailed them to me.
Okay.
So we can make a motion.
To accept.
Yeah, she just needs to email Paige and myself the invoices so we can make sure they're on the minutes.
Okay, you heard the request.
So moved.
Got a motion by Supervisor Wilson, second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carried unanimously.
And she may have already done it to me, I just couldn't find it in my email real fast. I did find the 61, I got it.
I got to put down those three. I'll make sure she gets it to you today.
Mr. Dollar,
I mean,
did you find the problem out there around on Lower Woodville Road at Elbow Lane?
I did. That's the issue we've been working on. They sold some property, cleared a bunch of timber. Started moving some dirt. The ditch on the left side going out Lower Woodville silted in.
Okay.
The water wasn't able to run the ditch. It was running the road, crossing the road, flooding out. So we dug all the ditch out on that side of the road. And we worked on it a couple of times. We worked on it Thursday. Matter of fact, went back and done some more work.
Oh, okay.
So it should be able to handle water on the left side of Lower Woodville now.
Did you ever get a chance to look at 15 Long Mile Road and see what they need to
I
do?
did. I was gonna get with you. I think that's gonna be on private property that's off the road down at the bottom. That's the
Okay.
pipe he had, and I was gonna get with you to see if it was another issue, but that's the only pipe we see out there. We've dealt with this before in the past. This is not the first time.
Okay.
Madam President.
Go ahead.
Doc, I wanna check, can we go ahead and, get those guys from Rookie Lane? How we took care of it?
Steve went, pulled the gravel up, put some, stuff there. I don't know what's took place with asphalt, but I know we did pull that gravel up to that pavement. He went out right after that. I don't know if you had another call on it or hadn't.
No, I just know we had kicked it down, we were supposed to put the asphalt
On the
right
right.
there on the right.
That's
And
what's that.
I just know it's one of the projects, I know we got busy, and during the time we lost a lot of people's time, there's a
He
lot
was
of stuff.
supposed to
going
have
on.
done that one, but like I said,
Well, we
and
just
I hadn't had a
double-checked
call
that.
either, so, I'll check with Steve and make sure, but yeah, he was supposed to take care of that.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Rob,
Yes,
everything on that docket was, okay?
yes. It looked good to me, but that's what I was asking him the question, when they moved in on Cemetery Road, because they had moved in before we got off, and that's the only question I asked him, when did they? So, but he said he moved in Friday.
Right.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Darrell Smith.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just have one thing to
what Southwest talking about, you gotta put it out of the way. Asking people to be cautious about burnout in the county, cause what's going on when we get high winds, winds start blowing pretty good, they start trying to burn, and sometimes it gets getting out of control. So, I mean, if it's a control burn, not too much we can do, unless they can't, can't control it, then we have to end up trying to put it out. But people must understand that they are responsible for their smoke also. So if they have a controlled burn and someone has an accident because of smoke, they're gonna be responsible for it. So we're just kind of asking people to just be cautious when they're out there in the county burning, especially the fields and stuff like that. So that's all I would have.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Smith? All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Ford, provide next. Going forward.
Just a couple of items, surveying work, on the baseball field, the Chesterfield and the adjacent softball field. We completed the survey for the Chesterfield baseball park. We're about 90% complete all the CAD work for that one. And then we're working on the surveying for the softball field. Once we complete that field survey, we'll go ahead and begin the CAD work for that, get that prepared. We'll try to reach out to the architect again, have a response back to them and see how they want to submit it to them. But so far what I've seen, what we've done in Chesterfield Park looks pretty good. 26 Cleovia. We submitted preliminary drawings to NRCS for their review to Mr. Mike Gray here. He was good with those after our meeting that we had the last time. He going to submit those to Mr. Patterson. Once we get approval back, we'll start developing the advertising documents to sit back to them for their review and get approval to advertise that project hopefully real soon. But they are currently reviewing those preliminary drawings that we submitted to them based on our field review the last time. As far as the striping on the project, we completed the preliminary drawing form. Only thing we're waiting on now is to get the approved program form back from state aid. I've talked to the district engineer for state aid. He had a question about it. He said everything looks good, so I'm just waiting on the form, getting the document back. Drawings are ready, they got to get it, they got to submit the preliminary plans to state aid for that project. As far as the flat project is concerned, we completed the program form to try to allocate the state aid funds for the county's match, as we discussed during the previous board meeting. However, state aid did indicate they would not pay for the utility coordination and the right-of-way acquisition portion of the project, but they will pay for everything else as far as construction, engineering fees, environmental, different things of that nature. And so IMS at this time, the document, program form that we created, we're asking approval to allocate approximately $295,000 state aid fund for the Work Road Flat Project, and that'll be the county's match. So like I said, engineering fees, portion of the construction, any environmental, anything of that nature.
And you said it's $298,000?
95.
$95,000?
That'll be coming from the state aid funds.
It'll be coming from the state aid fund.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you heard the request?
So moved.
Have a motion by Supervisor Gray,
Sorry.
second by Supervisor Middleton. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed nay. The ayes have it, motion carried unanimously.
That document's submitted, we'll just get all the board members' signatures on it. Once I get it back, I can submit the state aid.
Okay.
Are there any questions for me while I'm here?
Anyone have any questions?
I mean, y'all want to talk about the new road and getting our new engineering direction? The bridge and maybe looking at trying to get it.
Well, basically, I think me and Scott had that conversation with JPS because they was originally over there. What we was actually trying to do is you have Emerald Mile Road, that is the access road, is your main travel. Blacktop Road is what everybody used, and for a while we didn't realize, I guess, to the first year that it wasn't ours. It was under the assumption that it is, but it's on our road, and it's in harbor shape. As a matter of fact, we can ride out there. And what we was trying to do is we programmed those funds to get that overlaid on that on McGee Road, those state aid funds transferred to that project?
Alright, so state fund, the LSBP fund are two different pots. So we can't take money from the LSBP to pay state aid road. You have state
Well,
aid.
it's not state aid road, is it?
Your LSBP money, even though they're not state aid, they're bridge money, you draw from that state aid to do
I got you,
your
okay.
bridges, yeah.
But you only can use
Yes,
LSBP
you
funds
On the bridges.
for only bridge.
Okay.
So that particular amount of money needs to go to another bridge.
Yeah, to another bridge. That's LSBP eligible. And keep in mind that I'm not sure what fees have been paid toward that project. When you deprogram a project, any fee that's been paid from state aid that relate to that project had to be refunded back to state aid. It goes back into your pot, but it had to be refunded, any fees or anything that's been paid thus far.
Do engineering and right of ways typically come out of that?
Not right away, no.
I would think that's the only thing we've done. Robbie, you think we've done anything on McGee Road?
We hadn't done anything, because,
Haven't done anything.
when it came up, we was, record, what we was gonna end up, however we go, with a court battle, and, because we're not gonna get the right of way to the bridge without having to sue for them. That's been clearly understood. So I know we didn't get right of way.
So that's our conundrum. At least one supervisor wants to get Emerald Mountain, that one fixed and abandoned and have it reprogrammed for McGee Road. So that's kind of what we need, suggestions on how to do that.
So you want to deprogram the bridge?
I think that's what you want to do.
Well, I'm just trying, we're gonna see what's best.
Okay.
But anyway, until we sit down, we already discussed it, but that's what the plan, because it's a main road for church. And did talk to the landlord, we would open for the church, but that road there, we're getting on a better part of travel, because it's totally hard.
Okay, now let me ask you this question. If we deprogram that money, we would not get any more money.
We'd have to-
We have to.
We'd have to program it into something else.
Yeah, so you deprogram.
Another bridge.
It's not that you
That's
got
what I'm
to
saying,
deprogram.
yeah.
Well, we got two for sure, it's already 2 or 3 bridges that's there, but that's just what we can talk about. That we trying to get with everybody. I talked to a few people, I know it's gonna be a route, but in my mind, it's definitely bad. And one of the things, I know it's gonna be a court battle either way it goes, but if we were gonna do that, we'd make the rock road actually sometimes travel better than the asphalt we got out there. Anybody been right on my mind lately? So that's basically what we was the idea that we were discussing. And what that we and Scott basically talking about.
So we need to give the engineer, if they're gonna reprogram it, we need to reprogram it so we don't lose it.
So we need to,
At the same time, Emerald Mountain, you need to, that road, we can't just not program the bridge and not fix Emerald Mountain. It's gotta be one or the other, I think.
Yeah,
And,
we gotta do both,
we got
we don't have to do both.
Okay.
I mean, shut the bridge down, but we gotta figure out how we're gonna pay it.
because
Shut down the bridge, abandon the road, and repave Emerald Mountain Road is what Supervisor Gaines would ideally like to do, because that would keep his, the more access road would be in better shape. The landowners that own McGee Road, they'd be happy with that, and the church would be able to use it, so they'd be happy. The issue is, you don't have a funding source readily available to repay that road, which is about $200,000.
What was it gonna cost the county to buy the right of way, fight the court battle, and our part of the bridge?
To buy the right of way, I couldn't even give you a guess on how much it was. Depends on what they valued that right of way for. Fighting in court probably $2,000 or $3,000, and probably what $2,500 or so for the right of way, maybe more. Just depending on how much they actually need.
And then what about our part of the bridge repairs? Do we have matching funds?
Is that a matching fund? No, it's $170,000. Basically, with the amount of, the way I've always appreciated state aid is this legislature gives each county a little pot of money that they can draw funds from, but if you don't draw from it, they take it away. It's one of those things. The legislature is giving out money, so to speak. It's unusual because most state aid projects, it's unusual. Most of your state aid roads have to be kind of an access point to a state highway. It's part of that state highway system kind of. But bridges are their own little deal, because
Right.
McGee Road Bridge is definitely not connecting to any type
But
of.
we will be able to take that money and use it towards another bridge or
Okay, you
we can swap it over to another
You just gotta
bridge.
tell your engineer, put it in this bridge, and so it can be
Right.
work and make it.
If you deprogram a road, that money goes back into your LSDP pot to program another LSDP eligible bridge.
So the money that Robbie needs to fix some of these other bridges.
you can use that.
It would
Oh,
have to
another bridge.
be, but it'd have to be engineered and.
Another bridge,
Is
that's
that correct?
what I was asking Robin. So, the money, like if we deprogram the money, I know you just said you got 2 bridges that you're gonna, them that you're gonna put covers, but you got another bridge that
Two more bridges.
Two more
I gotta
bridges, yeah.
replace down there.
need replacing down there. So what I'm asking you, it is somewhere that we can use, we have somewhere to spend the money.
Material's already been bought for those. And the PO's already been sent out, which had been gone to, Dozer, which got to be in on driving the piles. But like I said, it's several months over what we're waiting on, but we're just waiting for him to get caught up, which we will next month, we'll have it done. So those has already been spent. Yes, it's gonna be another one, I'm sure, because like I said, they're expecting right now in the county, so, there's be some more shutdown somewhere.
Okay, so Scott, how do we, get the money for the road,
What?
Emerald Mountain Road?
So I'm trying to think of other projects we got working on. What I'm thinking is if you have a commitment that you're already gonna spend money on, if you can put that in and use your LSPP money, that frees up money to use on Emerald Mountain Road. So what other projects we got out there other than Robbins Lake? I don't think would that qualify as a bridge, quote unquote. It's a high water hazard, being converted to a low water hazard. No?
What I can do is I can prepare a list of LSPP eligible bridges in the county, and let you guys decide which ones you want to allocate those funds for.
Yeah.
Because, just because it's a bridge in the county, they have to be LSPP eligible based on the size and, spring and span arrangements. So I can provide a list of those LSPP, eligible bridges, so y'all can make a decision on which ones y'all want to allocate funds to.
But that's what we're trying to make sure that we have, do you have enough time for this? Come in here and look at these bridges, see what qualifies, so we can, if that's the route we gonna go, we'll make sure that money, that you have the time to come in and look at our bridges to see what bridge is gonna qualify, so we'll make sure.
I'll have to look at the state aid website.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the state aid website has an inventory, and it tells you on that website whether or not it's eligible for LSPP funds or not.
Okay.
And I'll provide that information to you guys, and you guys can say, this is the one I want to allocate funds to. Yeah.
And it can't be used for any other grant, with any other grant, is that right?
Typically, they let you use your state aid funds for grants and different things.
There's always something silly in there.
The 200,000 that you're saying on Emerald Mountain Road, I don't know where that figure came from, but is that pretty solid?
Robert, we had Robert, Bland gave us
Okay.
price on it.
All right.
But
We just gotta figure out where we can get that cash from.
like you said, we can, if some might free up some money on the bridge, just something that we have to look at.
Okay. All
So
right,
we-
you have any?
Do we have to make a motion to
No.
do any of that?
No.
What we're gonna try to do
No.
here?
Uh-uh.
We're not
You're
ready.
gonna need a new project, bridge,
Okay.
he's gonna
Look at that, yeah.
Okay.
tell you over, we'll get a new project,
Yeah.
and make a motion.
Yeah.
You have anything else, Mr. Ford?
If y'all have any questions for me, that's all I have.
Okay.
I
Thank you so
appreciate your
much.
time as
All
always.
right, Sheriff, you have anything?
He's only got one piece of paper, guys. Got a whole phone with him now.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I actually don't have too much this morning. July the 11th, one of our shift sergeants left out of jail, and that was Anthony Nellis, and we never replaced that position. We've had Eric Smith training in that position since he left on July the 11th, and so now I'm asking the board, because we need a supervisor for that shift to change the pay rate of Eric Smith to $14.23, so he can be the shift sergeant for that shift in the jail. We didn't have a shift sergeant on that shift since July, and it's October.
Okay, you have the paperwork?
Yes, I got it.
Okay.
Crystal's
You heard
already
the
signed.
request?
So moved.
Got a motion by Supervisor Wilson, second by Supervisor Gray, any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed nay. The ayes have it, the motion carried unanimously.
And I want to say this, I want to tell the board, I appreciate you all and you, Ms. King, as well, for doing what you did to make things right with the salaries with the sheriff's office. Those guys and those ladies, they put in a lot of hours on shift, but they also put in a lot, doing a lot of community service as well. Supervisor Kane, you actually came out and helped us. We don't do comp time, we don't do overtime or anything when we were doing those giveaways and things of that nature. You came by too, Supervisor Hutchins as well. But those guys do that without complaining and griping. So when they working, it's just appreciated when you know you got a group that supports you as well. So I just want to say thank you to all of you all. The other thing I have is, let's see here, Enterprise. Everything is moving well with them. We had a virtual meeting with that team that they had assigned to Adams County. And one thing they did bring up, they brought up about the maintenance part of it as far as other vehicles in the county. And I just wanted to make you all aware. I told them they need to talk to you all as far as that part goes, because when we had this virtual meeting, we were on there about an hour and a half, and they had a lot of stuff extra that I didn't know about that we're definitely going to look into that to save us money as well. So I'll be letting you all know about that as well. Project NOLA, if you look in your emails, and I text some of you all as well, I send it to your email and your texts. If you look at it, that's the list that we recommend for Project NOLA cameras, and it has the amounts on there as well. It has the amount for the stationary, it has the amount for the PTK, I believe that's what it's called. That's the one with the gunshot technology, PTZ, pan tilt zoom. And then even if you want to put license plate reader somewhere, it has it all in there. So I sent that to you all so you all can look at it as a board and think over it and see what would you all like to move forward with as well. Now those locations, we picked those locations strategically because of the stats that we have for those areas and the blind spot we have. But if you all see something you all like to change or lessen, just let us know. But that's what we would recommend. To President Hutchins, I just need your time for your trunk or treat. When you get a chance, text me the time for it, so we can make sure that's taken care of as well.
Okay. Also the one in Broadmoor too.
Yeah.
It's gonna be 5 to 7. I did talk to I talked to Major Miles. I did talk to him about it. He said that he'll make sure somebody there. It's gonna be from 5 to 7 at the ballpark.
Yes, and we'll make sure we have that covered.
It's the 30.
Yeah.
And I will ask him when McDonald, Felicia McDonald had already spoke with him, and I just reminded them I just made this other connection, and they was gonna kind of get together on everything, so she was already contacting Major Miles.
If any of you all supervisors have trunk or treat dates, I would ask that you all send me the dates and time so we can make sure we have it covered, because things are different these days, and we need to just make sure everything goes smoothly.
I'll get that out to you today because it's just weekend.
Okay, that's
All right,
fine. And I know the Daughters of Zion, if I'm not mistaken, on the 23rd, have a cancer walk this weekend as well. But I'll be there for that too as well. The other thing is VOCA. We should be completely out of that building before this week is out. We've already taken care of everything with the owner. And I believe Chief Neal has been talking to you with the budget while I was gone. If not, we have it ready though. We got it said. We're good to go on that as well. The last thing I have is I do want to publicly congratulate my son. I was very proud of him, especially young man coming up in the time that he's coming up with so many distractions. He graduated high school, graduated co-min, and he graduated Army boot camp this Thursday. So to see him have a heart to want to serve his country, I just want to publicly, say proud of him.
Yes, right there.
That's all right.
Congratulations.
And rest in peace, General Cole.
And Sheriff, I appreciate y'all coming out to Kingston Center, and that you had a great turnout. of officers and highway patrolmen. It was good to see all those guys and get to meet some of them, because a lot of them are just names and no faces, and I got to meet a lot of them.
I'm glad, I appreciate you doing that too as well. And that was the first time I think we've ever had the highway patrol with us, so I commend them for coming out and all those highway patrolmen, male and females that you've seen in that group, all of them are assigned 2 matches. So it's good to know.
I definitely appreciate you for coming through the range.
Oh, yeah.
Because
We'll be out there
that
doing
was
some trunk or
needed.
treat.
Yes.
Yes.
Sheriff, we got the food for the CSU. The CSU needs food being supplied to them. They approached us about having the jail give the food out. Talking with Tony and with the sheriff, you know, we're looking at a price, basically there'll be a base price for up to 4 patients a day, and then it increases any patients after that. And so the range is from $22,500 to $35,000 would be the range. So we need an approval for the sheriff to go for that.
Okay, you heard the request.
So moved.
Got a motion by Supervisor Wilson. Second by Supervisor Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed nay. The ayes have it, motion carried unanimously. Thank you.
That's all I have, unless you all have something for me.
All right, thank you.
Short and sweet.
Okay. Any
Thank
public
you.
comments? Any public comments? Any public comments? Coming to the table, Supervisor Gray.
Miss King, where are we with the clocks, time clocks?
I submitted the contract to, AS400 Delta, so they hadn't gotten back with me, set it up yet, but it's in progress.
Okay, thank you. And, I don't have that much today, but, my sympathy goes out to the Allison family, the Ely family, the Smith family, Perkins family, the Pelham family, the Ely family, the Johnson family, and the Powell family, Secretary of State, former Secretary of State, Colin Powell. And I just want to thank my constituents in District 4. I think I got the best district in Adams County. And I appreciate everything and all the support that they give me. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Supervisor Middleton.
I don't have much today. We did finally get an update from JKS on pipes for Robbins Lake, so that should be moving forward. I will reach out to the adjoining landowner and try to gain access for those people throughout the construction phase. One thing I did kind of want to ask the board is, now that we are filming these meetings, do we find it necessary to continue the Zoom session of this? What y'all's thoughts are? It seems to get confusing at times.
I don't see the reason why, because we really don't have anybody on there but the media. That's it. Yeah, usually they come in.
Is it costing us anything?
Cost it?
For Zoom?
No.
Just cost you effort to occasionally tell them to put their mute their phone and then have them go in and out.
I think until we just made another motion to do this COVID thing until November the 30th. I think until we get all that squared away, we need to just continue doing it. Just in case somebody don't feel comfortable coming in here, they do have Zoom as another resource. Since it's not costing us money.
And then Brandon can go do something else too. I'm not arguing with
So
it.
you gotta put Brandy out.
Brandon.
Oh, Brandy. Oh, my bad.
That's why he's saying.
But also
get rid of
Brandon can
Brandon is sitting here all the time doing Zoom,
He can be.
where he could be doing other things, is what he's saying. Maybe we need to put it to a vote.
I'll make a motion.
got a motion by Supervisor Middleton,
So move.
second by Supervisor Wilson. All in favor? Aye.
I'm voting nay.
All opposed? Nay.
Nay.
Okay, I'm gonna put it to a call, roll call. Supervisor Grant, how do you vote?
Voting on
Supervisor
not
Middleton.
getting rid of the zone, that's what
Yeah.
we voting on?
Yeah.
Nay.
Supervisor Middleton.
Aye.
Supervisor Wilson.
Aye.
Supervisor Gaines.
Nay.
I vote aye. Okay. Motion carried. 3-2.
Since we did that, I just wanna bring it to our attention, we do have something in place saying that we can't have so many people come in this little small building that we have, so if they can't come in here and they can't come on Zoom, then what they supposed to do?
We never have a full house.
Well, we had a full house this morning, there's no social distancing going on, everybody stacked up on each other. That's all I had to say on that.
All right. Next, Supervisor Wilson. You was finished? Supervisor Middleton?
I have mine to be done.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Wilson.
Okay, I want to thank everybody that came out to the Kingston Community Center for the National Night Out. And we had a really good turnout for with the Sheriff's Department, Highway Patrol, like I mentioned, the Sheriff part of it really went over well. A lot of people, they ate a lot of hamburgers.
They did. Excuse me.
Then
I'm trying to hear Supervisor Wilson.
I've got one of my constituents just found out that he doesn't have long to live. Bernie Power, I think a lot of people know Bernie Power.
Yeah.
His cancer has come back, and he's on hospice. And I had a good conversation with him yesterday, and he's ready to go. He said he'd see us all again one day. But it's good that he gets a chance to say goodbye. But it is very serious with him. My prayers go out to him and his family. Scott, I have one thing for you. We've talked about this, and I'm gonna keep bringing this stuff back to you until somebody gives me an answer. Jackson Point Road, I don't like the fact that Robbie Dollar and them have to go down and work on that road all the time. If we can privatize that road, I would like to go through that procedure. That do we have to put that to a vote? I realize that it's in Mr. Middleton's district, and we really haven't discussed it, but
I think we need to discuss that a little bit more before we put it to the vote.
Yeah, I mean, there's a process, so if the board's prerogative is to do that, we have to advertise and have a public hearing on it, and then at that decision, you have to make certain findings, and then we have to do it. Whenever you abandon a private road, if the people that are there don't want it, that does open the county up, unfortunately, to takings, liability. So that's just that's a cost analysis that the board had to make a discussion and decision.
by understanding, most of the people that own property down there would be for that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's like a 2-hour trip there and 2-hour back, and it
It's
cost us
longer than that, I would imagine, for Robbie's crews, the equipment they're hauling. Okay, are we, have we made any progress with the plantation trailer
Plantation
park?
Oaks, we're going to file suit on them.
Okay.
Be calling in DEQ and all that.
Because the trash buildup out on that area of town still looks pretty bad. I don't know if that's something to do with it. Sheriff, y'all pick up a lot of trash out there on Highway 61 South and South Wind Road, kind of thinking that stuff in the trailer park's still going down Kingston Road or the highway or something.
yeah, we still pick up a lot down there.
As a matter of fact, I got a call about South Wind Road the other day, said it was just terrible.
I believe it because we went out there twice again, and I'm pretty sure when I get over here and meet with my command staff, we're gonna be heading that way again. Because
I know Highway 61 South looks just awful right now. But okay, that concludes my report.
That's all you have. Okay, Supervisor Gaines.
Well, kind of start off saying, Sheriff, I do appreciate being able to ride and what y'all do. I had a good time on night out meeting people, but I also like to, I've been talking to different areas in the community, such as Broadmoor. We missed Morgantown again this year, I understand due to COVID. But over the period of time, we missed 7 states. Hopefully our neighborhood watch program can start back up and, we can continue to get out and ride and meet the people because safety is first. And Project NOLA, as we talked about cameras on those high crime areas or hot spots that you have, I would definitely ask the administrator to look at that and get a figure and kind of see where we at. And I definitely would want one of those tag reading cameras placed on. Hopefully you got one by that store at Broadmoor that y'all pick up trash. I get a call about it every week that we can get some tag numbers and also in that area. But I do have a question. I don't know for any of the board members, because I hadn't heard anything on Morgantown Road without Representative with them. I hadn't heard any other information. I know that they said that it was supposed to be on the 27th of last month that they're supposed to vote on something in Washington D.C. with the 2.4 million. I hadn't heard anything, and I would just like to know if anybody heard something where we at on that, and we kind of while we thinking about money. That's one thing that we talked about when we borrowed money recreation. I think Scott, we also said that we were gonna get together and try to do that Morgantown Road because it's probably one of the worst streets in our community with more population. So anybody heard anything from Representative Chapter?
Have heard anything on
Still
it.
tied up.
I constantly
Senate.
question them about that, and we hadn't heard anything, just waiting on the infrastructure bill to pass. And it hasn't passed yet.
Okay. All right, well, that concludes my report.
Okay? Attorney Scott Slover.
Most of my things got handled already. The recreation, if y'all have been thinking about what's going on with recreation and what you want to do and that kind of thing, get your, that's something that we need to talk about. And I say recreation, your capital improvement plan, I think is a better, explanation of it. You need to have something in mind what you're doing. Have 1 or 2 projects, maybe 300,000 to 400,000 in mind. That'd be kind of your estimate that you're looking at.
Okay, let me ask you a question on this capital improvement. The amount of money that we borrowed on capital improvement, what are we planning on doing? Are we gonna split it evenly between everyone, like we always did?
It's obviously within y'all's discretion what you want to do on the capital improvements, how you want to divide up the money. So,
Recreation?
Capital improvement.
We
Because we
had a
can use it
capital-
for more than recreation.
What are we gonna get it for?
The funding source to pay for the bond was the recreation money that we've previously been budgeted in. We have previously paying $434,000 a year recreation. Now it's being reduced, so you're taking the $300,000.
No, I understand that part.
I'm sorry.
When we do that, what can we use it for?
Any type of capital improvement. So it can be, buildings, it can be roads, it can be, for your parks, that kind of thing. And so if you divided it up, if you took the baseball fields and y'all redid the softball and Liberty Park baseball field, then each of you could still divide up evenly anywhere from, and this is an estimate, so don't, hold me to it, but I'm estimating maybe 300,000 or 400,000 per district on top of that. And that's not including, getting rid of the Harold Miller, was that the name of the building? Getting messed up, getting rid of that building and getting all your records scanned in and being done too. That's not including that.
So let me ask you a question. I'm gonna piggyback on what Supervisor Gaines said about Morgantown Road. So this gonna be a different bond issue with Morgantown Road, or it's gonna be the same bond issue?
Ultimately, that's up to y'all. It doesn't have to be, but it certainly, can be a different issue, where if you're doing Morgantown Road and that's strictly a roads and bridges, I don't know if y'all done a roads and bridges bond this term.
Well, let me say this, on Morgantown Road, we're still waiting on that infrastructure bill to pass. And that infrastructure bill will include Morgantown Road. I know there has to be a match, to put, I think, like $1 million, am I correct?
If you get it on the infrastructure, you're still gonna owe $1 million.
Exactly.
In which case, you technically couldn't draw it out of this recreation bond, or you do a different road bond. Y'all's project will be Morgantown Road. That's all it doesn't have to be anything more, but usually the supervisors have said, everybody eats or whatever. So it can be a different bond, it can be into this recreation bond, it's really up to the discretion of the board.
Well, Scott, let me say this, man, because
I'm not trying to tell you what to do, I'm just giving you options.
I'm just gonna say this because we gonna look mighty stupid, knowing that two people done got killed on Morgantown, and we doing all this other work in parks and all this kind of stuff, and we done told these people that we gonna take care of Morgantown Road. Now, I understand it's in the infrastructure bill, but right now, that's a pie in the sky to me. They might shut government down. We need to have a time limit on when we gonna decide that we're not gonna get the money for the infrastructure bill and go ahead on do a bond for Morgantown Road like we told these people we was gonna do.
Mhm.
That's what we need to figure out. How long we gonna wait on the infrastructure bill? Because we can't wait another year on the infrastructure bill.
I agree that you should set a deadline of when you're gonna.
Could we
Drop
get
deadline,
Mel
when
and
you're
them
gonna
in
do it.
here where they can explain to us what's going on? Because I need to know, because I'm not gonna sit back, and I know I can't speak for Supervisor Gaines, but I'm not gonna sit back and borrow all this money knowing that we done told these people that we gonna take care of Morgantown Road, and at the end of the day, everything get done but Morgantown Road. I'm not gonna do that.
I got it.
Go ahead, Supervisor.
As one, I would just like to say that I am 100% in favor of Morgantown Road, and I feel confident that everybody on this board is. My fear is that we jump out and take a bond to do this, and then we miss out on money in the infrastructure bill. I'm 100% in favor of it. I'm 100% know that it needs to be done, and we're going to do it. But I don't want to go out there and jump out, spend our money when there's a chance that 12 months from now we could be approved for funding on that.
You know, and
I ain't waiting for 12 months.
Supervisor Middleton, I agree with you on that, because when I spoke to Manning last time, and he was telling me about the infrastructure bill, and I told him about the bond also, and that was his words, exactly what you said. Why would you do a bond and then lose out on this infrastructure money?
Did you get him in here then?
Yeah, that's what we'll have to
Yeah,
do, is
get him
get
in.
Manning in here to speak on that.
Well,
But another thing is, I think they're supposed to be putting together something for us to go to Washington sometime in December to speak with them in regards to this infrastructure bill.
Madam President, I'm gonna wait till Manny get here because I'm confused. Putting something together for us to go to Washington when Morgantown is already in the infrastructure bill. If they pass it, then we gonna get the money. So why would we gonna have to go down there and allowance for something that's already in the bill?
He wants more projects, you know. Let me tell you something. And you know this from experience, Supervisor Gray. When you're sitting in front of your congressional people face, and you got some that's not voting for something, and you go and sit there in their face, you know that makes a difference. That's something we've always done. You know, and you heard that at the meeting, the last meeting we attended, that they say, don't wait until NACO. Because when you wait till NACO, they got all these other people that's coming, trying to get something, and then they got so much on their plate, you don't have the time. It's best to go before NACO. You heard that in the last
got something
meeting.
else that we lobbying for too?
It's a possibility of, what's his name? Yes, because he wants to speak to someone on some of these projects, like Velasquez and stuff, what's his name? Chandler.
Oh, indeed, man, I'm not doing
So-
that.
Well, I think it's a good time too to
It's
revisit our
it's-
legislative
it
agenda,
is.
see what we've accomplished. I'm not talking about talking to Trick, Ricky, but as a group, we need to revisit our priorities on the legislative agenda and make sure we're all lobbying for the same stuff.
You heard in our last meeting, other counties are moving forward. Adams County, this board is sitting here, not getting anything because we're not doing what we're supposed to
We
be
in the
doing.
infrastructure bill, they
We're
not.
in the infrastructure bill, I agree, but when you go there and see these people face to face, and you heard this other county just went and saw these people face to face, and they getting things, and because of the fact is, they have time with these people.
They don't have a lobbyist though. So if we need to
They
do
have
all of
laws
this,
too, commanding them with their laws.
if we need to do all this, then why we gotta continue to pay them?
That's a question you have to ask yourself.
Yeah, if we gotta go lobby and they lobbying for us, I think they did a great job to get us in the infrastructure bill, because we ain't never been in no bill like that before. They did a great
That's
job.
correct.
We just wanna know a timeline where we won't get caught up in 6 months before the election. Then we trying to do a bond bill and make it look like we've been lied to the people in Morgantown, because I don't wanna lie to nobody. That's just the way I
Go
feel.
ahead, Supervisor.
Well, I'm gonna say this while we talking about that, why is that? When we talking about borrowing money, I understand what they did in the past and everybody, but what I would love to do is y'all look at, we gonna run as a unit system, and you look at it, as a board, and look at the most improved in our whole area, because as a board, I definitely won't be treated fairly with the splitting money up 5 ways when if you do the road miles in Adams County road, it's 208 miles, it's 43% of Adams County worth of roads in Adams County. So not saying that I'm looking for the biggest pile of the money, but I'm just saying be considerate. Let's look at all of our districts and kind of see what need there. I'm not trying to cut nobody, but I want to be fair, and I want y'all to look at it because maybe it's not recognized. 43% of Adams County is District 5. That's 208 miles out of 480 something. What you saying? Excuse me, Mr. Dawes.
488.
488. 208 of them is District 5. So when we start looking, I would like for us to look at it. I just put that on the board mind.
Well, Supervisor Gaines, I'm gonna say this. That ain't how it works, because we got constituents in the city too that we have to take care of, not just the county. So there is roads in the city that I pay also than just the county. And I know city take care of some of their roads, but we have constituents in the city too that votes for us.
Well, maybe you didn't understand what I said. Somehow, I don't think you understood
No,
what I
I didn't
said.
say about the county, the miles in the county.
I mean, so what I'm saying, regardless of if my role in the county, when I'm talking about Adams County period, I'm not asking you not to neglect your district, not because my district is mainly rural. I'm not saying neglect anybody in your district, whether he in the county or city. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is us just put on our mind as a board, not just Supervisor Hutchins, I'm talking to Supervisor Wilson, I'm talking to Supervisor Milton, Supervisor Gray. Just consider that area, the bigger area, because regardless if it's, even though I'm the supervisor, we all in a unit system, so we actually serve everybody. So I just kind of actually put that into consideration since we look at it, and that area is just a bigger area. I'm not saying give me 40% of the money. That's not what I'm asking for. I'm the unit system. That my understanding of a unit system, that we are all supervisors, that we look at, we ride out our roads, we look at the county as a whole. I think that's why we ride in February and allow the road manager to do the worst roads in the community. Am I correct?
I mean, you're correct, but yeah, but I know how everything has been done, even though you're talking about the roads and talking about the unit system consists of all roads.
And that's all I'm saying. And I'm trying to say,
we trying to do a fair job for everybody in Adams County as a whole, not just my constituents. I'm talking to everybody, looking at everybody's constituents, from yours to, again, Mr. Wilson, Mr. Milton, Mr. Gray.
Anything else?
Yeah, and I wasn't trying to say forget about Morgantown Road. I know Morgantown Road.
It wouldn't be good if you did.
It wouldn't be good for us if you did.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm not saying that at all. I was just saying, be thinking too on that. In my mind, we're gonna do two different issues at any point, because you're gonna have to pay for Morgantown Road. Even if we're in the bond, that's still gonna leave us $1 million we gotta come up with. And the best way to do that is gonna be with a bond. So whether that's in this bond or we're in a different bond, it's still gonna have to, that money's still gonna have to come. That's always, and I think that's something that all the board unanimously agrees on. That's gotta be done, because it's such an important road.
We just need to be careful because we have a capacity that we can borrow. Now, if that capacity is like Supervisor Wilson over here, we can just go on and borrow $200 million. You won't have a problem. But when you're dealing with bonds, you got a capacity of how much you can borrow. And if we at that limit on the first bond, then we can't go borrow no more on the second bond.
I'll confirm, but to make sure we can.
Just find out what our capacity is.
Absolutely. And that wasn't my intention, believe me, because Morgantown Road, something I want to see done too, the burnt insurance renewal, we need to go ahead and approve that. We didn't do it last meeting.
Okay. You heard the request.
So moved.
Got a motion by Supervisor Wilson,
Second.
second by Supervisor Middleton. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed nay. The ayes have it. Motion carried unanimously. That's it. Chancellor Clerk, bring it away. Deputy Clerk. You don't have anything? Page D. County Administrator, Angie Payne. Okay.
Good gracious.
This is
I might get out here in time for a meeting.
All right, let me, I have, here, this is where Adams County Youth Court, case manager, Mary Kay sent this over. It's for a Ivy Mays, and it's for Adams County Youth Court, Drug Court case manager. The hourly rate is $14.90, with the annual pay of $31,000. I need a motion.
So moved.
Got a motion by Supervisor Gaines,
Second.
second by Supervisor Middleton. Any discussion?
Is there any, they just got a budget, so I know.
Yes. And it may be replacing someone. It's replacing someone, yeah. Okay, the next one is a correctional office. It's for the juvenile detention, Terry Strouder, with the hourly pay of $10.11. Oh, we got to do, it's gotta be $2. It's gotta be, $12. We gotta do $12.
So,
I'm just gonna stretch.
is that gonna affect their budget in any kind of way?
No.
So they budgeting $10, $12?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put
In
it
their
here.
budget? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it here, $12, change it. And I'm not gonna give you the annual salary because it's gonna change. Now that's, and correct there. Okay. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Got a motion by Supervisor Wilson,
Second.
second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed nay. The ayes have it, motion carries unanimously.
Madam President, typically they increase it after 6 months or whatever. It's a $12, the way we budgeted, just a flat rate, not expecting an increase. So make sure Mary Kay knows that, if she's correcting that way.
This is not Mary Kay's here, this is, for the juvenile correctional office, Christian.
Right. She'll tell them whatever.
Terry Straw. Okay. Next thing is, I have here, it's gonna be a Rest Council walk-a-thon. And I think it's sponsored by Alcorn County Extension, Mississippi State, and NSC Multipurpose Center. And it's gonna be Friday, October the 22nd, and it's gonna be on the bluff from 9:00 a.m. to 12 p.m. if anyone wants to attend. Also, Colleen sent a invitation here for the Chancery Clerk, Board of Supervisor, and Board of Aldermen to a presidential pre-game gathering. And this is gonna be at the President's Home, and it's gonna be October the 21st from 5:15 to 6 o'clock. Refreshment will be provided. If anybody wants to attend it. Okay, the other thing I have here is letter of support. We're asking for a letter of support from the community, and this is for the air service, for that conference that we'll be attending on November the 1st to try to go and get one of the air service here. So we are asking for a letter of support from the community, and also we need a letter of support from the Board of Supervisors. If you all are in agreement of doing a letter of support. I need a motion for that.
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Middleton.
Second.
Second by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed nay. The ayes have it, motion carried. Okay, the next thing is a meeting. Supervisor Gray had asked that we have a meeting with the city, the school board, and the legislatures on the workforce training center. And that's, they're trying to, I'm asking you all to save the date, they're trying to reach out to, the legislatures and the school board. I think, the mayor is supposed to be meeting with them on, it's either Tuesday, Tuesday. So I'm just gonna ask you all to save the date for October the 25th at 2 o'clock. If he can get them in agreement with it, with that date. Also, I have recreation. LaGrange does a Oktoberfest, but this time it's gonna be in November. And usually Metro pays $1,000 for recreation. So usually I receive $1,000 from them for recreation to do it out there, November Fest in LaGrange. So I'm asking for a motion for that.
WC?
No, they said the check would be in the mail.
So moved.
Got a motion by Supervisor Gray,
Second.
second by Supervisor Middleton. Any discussion?
Yeah, Madam President,
Okay.
me and Supervisor Gaines discussed this, it won't affect that $1,000 this year, but next year, we gonna have to, get a little bit of that money, cause we got something going on.
That's fine, that's fine. I have no problem with that. That's fine.
And
that's a good thing, because usually that money not
That's what
been
it's
spent.
for.
That's-
It just sits there. That's what it's for. Last year, we didn't even use, because when nothing going on with COVID was going on.
But that lane is $2,000?
It's sitting there right now.
Okay.
So y'all can still do something. You can still do something, yeah. It's another $1,000 still sitting there.
Do you have the dates for that?
But November it's the first weekend in November. I think it may be the 6th. Let me make sure. Yes, the 6th. Okay. All in favor say aye. All opposed nay. The ayes have it, motion carried unanimously. And that's all I have. Which one?
I just wanted to make the board aware of one thing that y'all might not want to miss if you can make it. The Special Olympics have a torch run at 8 o'clock on the 21st at the Bluff. The Special Olympics, so are y'all gonna be out of town? Okay, I just wanted y'all to know that then. Okay,
21st, right?
October. This,
We're done.
and you know, right now, I can't think of the award.
We want?
Just say, we'll be leaving, adjourning at 11:30 on the 21st.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thanks Supervisor for that information. All right, that's all I have. I need a motion for item to be determined.
So moved.
Got a motion by Supervisor Gray, second by Supervisor Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed nay. The ayes have it. Motion carried unanimously.